Oh, yeah. The heat is on. The heat is on, baby. What is going on? It's your boy, Preston, Fat Samurai Guy, back again with another Movie Dojo episode. Hanging out with your boy today in the dojo is my brother from another mother, the radical one, Reggie. Welcome back, brother.
Happy to be back, bro. I'm very excited about our topic today. Yes.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. And let's see who's showing up here in the Chizat. All the legends are showing up right now. All the fans of action comedies showing up. What's going on? We got Brian Sanchez in the hizzy. Oh, yeah. We got Theodore. What's going down? Oh, shit. The sumo that be sexy. What's
Sexy
going on
here? Wow.
Yeah, right. Man. Yeah. Royalty has arrived. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, man. So we are going to have a blast going down memory lane, for better or for worse, on some of these. I'm curious to hear Reggie's thoughts on a certain movie in this franchise, but we're going to go down memory lane. We're going to lead up to the most recent adventure with Axel Foley. Yes, we're talking the Beverly Hills Cop franchise today, and these movies have been out for a long time, except for the most recent one. But fuck it, we're going to spoil it. We're going to throw in spoilers. These movies have been out for years. Mm-hmm. And Foley, it's fine. It's fine if you do some spoilers for Foley. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it's good to see everybody watching right now, hanging out. And let's just have some fun and jump right into the original. That's right, 1985 Beverly Hills Cop, The Phenomenon. Yes. Oh, and don't forget, guys, I forgot to get an image, but you reminded me, Reggie. I saw you post on your Instagram page that you had the Beverly Hills Cop video game for PlayStation 2. I didn't even know that game existed. And it's funny because we just did an epic episode. Make sure you guys check it out. When action movies become video games. Mm-hmm. It is an amazing episode. It's badass. It's hilarious. So make sure you guys check it out. I'll put in the link in the description below. But speaking of when action movies become video games, I had no idea there was a Beverly Hills Cop video game. So was it any good, Reggie?
Man, it's one of the worst games out there. The only redeeming quality it has is it's a remix of the intro of the game's theme, of the movie's theme. Okay. And you could tell that they didn't have a lot of the licensing for it. They couldn't have Eddie Murphy's likeness, so the main character looks nothing like him, but it is Axel Foley. Okay. The main character does try to do jokes like he does in the movies in the game as well, like little certain stuff like that, but it kind of falls flat because it's not Eddie Murphy doing it, you know?
Right.
It's a horrible game, man, unfortunately. Very glitched and messed up, but you could tell they just wanted to put something out to cash in, but
right.
It's good to have as a novelty.
Yeah, for sure. We got a question here. Was it released in the U.S.?
No, it was only released in PAL territories. So it's still a very cheap game as far as I know. I think my copy only cost like $12. So I picked it up. I was going to do a video on bad like movie games. Okay. And I ended up starting the video, but that's these games are too horrible, and I just didn't want to do the video. So that's how bad it was. I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Maybe in the future we can revisit that here or whatever. We'll have some
fun. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, definitely.
We got Will in the house. What's going on? Eric showing up. Oh yeah, Nate Dogs. Oh yeah, shit and Batman. There you go. Yeah. Good to see you. Good to see everybody here. But yeah, 1984. Let's talk about the phenomenon here. You know what's really funny? I think me and you discussed this before, the whole Beverly Hills Cop and Cobra connection, which is hilarious because Beverly Hills Cop was originally supposed to be a Stallone vehicle. Mm-hmm. And that didn't fall through, and they got Eddie Murphy in. And then later on, Beverly Hills Cop got changed into Cobra for Stallone. But it kind of worked out perfectly because look at the phenomenon with Eddie Murphy with Beverly Hills Cop, and then Cobra fits Sly way better. Than this movie, so it kind of worked out.
I couldn't imagine like Eddie Murphy like in that grocery scene doing all that stuff like from Cobra. Like definitely Sly Stallone should have did that part.
yeah, but yeah, it kind of worked out, you know. But yeah, the phenomenon. Let's go ahead and go through the plot synopsis here for everybody watching here who has not seen the movie. A freewheeling Detroit cop pursuing a murder investigation of his friend finds himself dealing with the very different culture of Beverly Hills, directed by Martin Brest, starring a plethora of legends. We got John Ashton as Sergeant Taggart, Judge Reinhold as Detective Billy Rosewood. We got Lisa Elbacher as Jenny Summers. Always a villain for all you Rambo fans out there. We got Steven Berkoff as Victor Maitland. And it's funny because I wanted to, Gilbert R. Hill as Inspector Todd, Paul Reiser, and many others. And of course, Bronson, it's a Pincott? It's Sedge. Yes, he's hilarious. But it's funny because I haven't seen these movies in years.
Right.
Years. So I wanted to rewatch all 3 and then go right into 4 on Netflix. And it's funny because rewatching the first one, I was like, Ronnie Cox is not the villain. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Ronnie Cox is not
the good guy.
The whole movie, I was waiting for the swerve. I was waiting for the, he's a justifiable, or what's the word? He's the best of the best chief captain in Beverly Hills, and I was waiting for him to kind of
totally by the book,
right? And I was waiting for him to portray Foley at the end or something, but no, he actually stayed a good guy. I was so surprised rewatching all of this. So
yeah,
NSG certified badass channel member, what's going on? Yes, here we go. Foley, where the fuck you been?
Yeah, he was hilarious.
Oh my god.
His commander is hilarious in Detroit.
Oh my god.
Nothing but curse words.
Yeah, really, really funny, dude. Really, really funny. But yeah, a whole bunch of great actors involved with this. But dude, rewatching the movie, the soundtrack, that starts out with The Heat Is On, right? And then I was like, oh, there's a hit song. And then of course they got the classic, Beverly Hills Cop theme song, right?
Right.
Which I've always said to people, if someone came up to me and said, what did the 80s sound like as a whole? What song would you choose to represent the 80s? And I was like, the Beverly Hills Cop theme song is perfect. Perfectly captures the essence of the 80s. But dude, there was all these other songs that came out in that movie while I'm watching it. I'm like, that's a hit song. That was a hit song. That's a hit song. I'm like, oh my god, how many hit songs were in this movie? Like, this soundtrack's insane.
The soundtrack's fire, definitely, man. Just a lot of those tunes just really resonate with that time. Even today, you can play that stuff and just really feel the energy they had with those movies. So soundtrack was definitely fire. Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, he wants to go avenge his friend, and his commander's like, don't you do it, Foley, don't you do it. Of course, he goes on vacation and goes and investigates Beverly Hills. And then
you can imagine how nice it was.
I mean, look at it. We got the Michael Jackson Thriller outfits here, and he's just busting up. But yeah, great stunt work. Rewatching this again through my action movie lens.
Stunt work, huh?
Dude, in the beginning, I know about the glass.
Not just the glass, the part where he's in a restaurant and he tosses dude over the table, and I was like, come on, man. How it cuts to the guy that's not Eddie Murphy, and they actually kept that in the film.
Well, no, that's a great one. But the one I was going to bring up was when he got thrown through the glass. I was like, that was a white dude painted black, wasn't he? It looked like, I might be wrong, but if you look at it again, it looked like it was somebody painted black. But anyway, the opening, sequence when he's in the truck and it's crashing through all those cars, and he's holding on the chain on the back of the truck. There was some legitimate stunt work in here. But yeah, I love how the movie kind of celebrates Beverly Hills, but makes fun of it at the same time.
Yeah.
Bougie and over the top.
Wearing leather in the hot heat, man. That just doesn't make sense.
Yes. But yeah, we get introduced with tons of colorful characters. Sedge, get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot.
Every time I see that guy, I think Perfect Strangers.
Right.
Every time I see him.
But it's all about Taggart and our boy Billy here, man. It's just him fucking with them the whole movie, and then they were kind of against each other, but they end up teaming up at the end. Right. And of course, a great 80s action movie's got to have the great 80s action villains. There you go. For all you Breaking Bad fans, you recognize that guy on the right there.
Yeah. And also too, I mean, this is just old school reference, but that guy on the left there, he's one of the main villains in Rambo 2.
Right.
Put it in his eye. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but just a lot of funny moments. Here we go. Even in 4K, you notice his wig falling out as he's thrown in the window.
Man.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, again, some hilarious moments throughout the film, of course.
Right.
But you know, Samurai Guy looking through the action lens, solid shootout at the end, bro. Like I was really surprised. Of course, you got Billy here, you know, doing his thing at the end. I love how every movie. Well, we're going to get to 2 in this in a minute here. How he just gets more and more. Rosewood, my boy Rosewood here, who's I think is my favorite side character in the whole franchise is Rosewood. He's my favorite. He's my favorite character, and I'll tell you why in the second one. But yeah, solid shootout at the end. Get some good blood squibs. Very, very, very well done. So
yeah.
But yeah, it is a classic for a reason. If you guys have not seen the original, definitely go ahead and check it out.
Yeah, they have this funny scene with the banana in the tailpipe too.
Yes. Yeah, he loves fucking with these dudes, man. Oh my goodness. But yeah, definitely an 80s classic. Very well done. But now,
okay, let me
go ahead.
When the first one came out and how successful it was over the years, did you think there was going to be a sequel? Because we were young.
I'm battling a fly over here.
No, you're good. You're good. But the way that movie was, and it was very successful. I mean, I guess any success like that in the 80s, you got to make a sequel. So I guess it was already like pretty much after that movie wrapped, they say we got to make a sequel to it. So.
Yeah, especially in the 80s, the 80s movie boom, the action movie boom. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the 80s started the whole sequel. We got to make a sequel to anything trend, even more so in the 80s. I wouldn't be surprised if that kicked off even more so in the 80s. But yeah, you know how it is. You got to make that money. We got to do another one. Yeah. But here we go. Now it's perfect segue here. Rosewood is the GOAT. He has great taste of action movies. We're going to talk about that in the second one here. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into Beverly Hills Cop 2. And don't forget, everybody that's watching right now, we're going to go through it. We're going to talk about every movie. We're going to lead to Axel F. And then at the end, we're going to rank our own personal ranking.
Yeah.
We're going to give our own personal ranking for every movie. And I want you guys to join in. And when I click on the ranking button and you see that video pop up, I want you guys to give us your ranking. And then I'm going to show it on screen at the end. We're going to have some fun there. But now, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Electric Boogaloo, directed by the extremely underrated, in my opinion, director. I would like to do a video on him one day. Tony Scott. That's right, directed this one. Here's the plot synopsis for this one. Axel Foley returns to Beverly Hills to help Taggart and Rosewood investigate Chief Bogomil's near-fatal shooting in the series of alphabet crimes associated with it. This has a lot of 80s alumni actors and actresses here. We have the great Brigitte Nielsen, Red Sonja herself, plays Carla Fry. We have Jürgen Prochnow. That guy has a face. I wouldn't be surprised. Great actor, that guy who plays Maxwell Dent. But I wouldn't be surprised if that guy, his face looked like that when he was 5. When you see his face, it's like he looked like that his whole life, didn't he? Like he had no choice but to play bad guys. But yeah, great actor.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sometimes you get stuck in that role. You know, you play a good bad guy. You might. I think playing a bad guy is probably the most fun because you could be over the top. You could be like,
oh yeah,
anything with it pretty much. So
yeah, I've interviewed a lot of actors who said that like they just really rather would play bad guys because it's just, again, like you said, they could cut loose. You know, there we go. I'd say Dirty Harry movies was the first. Yeah, there's always been sequels, especially with westerns. You know, you got the Return of the Magnificent Seven, but I think they realized, hey, in the 80s, man, let's just kick it off and do a lot more. Egg Shen saying hello to Radical Reggie there. What's going on, Egg Shen? Good to see you there. But yeah, this one was great, man. Like shake down, break down, take down.
They played at the right time.
Yeah. Can't say the rest. Can't sing the rest of the song. Might be copyright. But yeah, this one, I really enjoyed this one a lot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I like how it was over the top with like introducing Bridget Nielsen's character, the bank scene or jewelry scene in the beginning, and it makes all this menacing villain. Like, wow, what's going on now? Like, what are we going to deal with? And I like the introduction of Paul Reiser as Eddie Murphy's buddy is covering for him.
Yeah,
that was great. Paul Reiser was fantastic in the movie as well on his parts. And one of the funniest things for me in this movie was kind of like the ending, where I mean, it's the part where, you know, everything's done. And then the people, Eddie Murphy says he's renting out this house when he's not renting a house. The owner's actually coming in and say, who are you? Oh, I'm just the guy was the gardener. So I forgot what he said, but he actually like broke into someone's house and was living there the whole time to cover his tracks. And just hilarious, man. How
he like showed up and act like some kind of he told the construction guys to fuck off.
Yeah.
He like posed at he held up his badge and he like posed at some kind of inspector. And he's like, you guys, this is the wrong house. What are you guys doing? You guys, this is not the plans. Show me the plans. Show me the plans. That's not the plans.
Yeah, right? His way of kind of like
they all fucked off, and he just moved in.
He just moved in, and I like that trend of him talking in those type of situations to get to fool people, whatever like that. That's part of his charm, and he's done that in all the movies, which is hilarious. So,
yeah. But yeah, our boy Foley's back in Detroit doing his thing. And of course, you know, it's funny when me and Lady Fat Blood were watching the second one, and as soon as it showed the beginning with Ronnie Cox in those 80s upsetting shorts he was wearing and jogging, we were like, oh, he's dead. Like we were like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah, because the sequel's always going to give you some kind of something crazy, you know, whatever like that. And usually in the beginning of the movie, and to kind of take out a main character, you know, or what, you know. Or this is a big thing, like, whoa, you'll be invested after that, like, because he was in the first movie, he was a nice guy, whatever. So
you
know,
he's a great character, but he got shot up pretty bad by Brigitte and her crew, and I'm wondering if he was supposed to stay dead and they changed their minds at the end, because you notice he ended up surviving, but you notice there wasn't a scene with him later in the movie, like, you guys did a good job, or thank you, or. There wasn't. I wonder if they just rewrote it to where he lives, but you just don't see him. What do you think?
He did an interview a while back, and because he was supposed to be in Beverly Hills Cop 3 or whatever like that. So he was really. They asked him to be in Beverly Hills Cop 3. So I guess they were planning another movie after that one.
So maybe once. Then that kind of reassures that, because I don't know. Yeah. It was just weird. You never saw him again.
I mean, he got shot up pretty bad, though. I mean, like, someone gets shot like that in real life there's a rap, but 80s movie, he could probably find some kind of way to live.
You got a shot, especially if you're a hero. You got a shot. But this one I really enjoyed this so much because the chemistry Foley had with Taggart and our boy Rosewood here. And the whoever wrote the script did a great job of basically keeping them together for the entire movie.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, Foley's not supposed to be in Beverly Hills. So he has to lie. He has to lie again to his commander to get him to go over there. And of course, you know, he's like, hey, you know, my boy Ronnie Cox, you know, he put his job out there on the line for me, you know. And we gonna catch these motherfuckers. See, shot our boy here. But yeah, Rosewood. This is the movie. I enjoyed him in the first film, but this is the movie that made me. He's like my favorite character out of the second. You know, after Foley, he's my second most favorite character out of the whole series. And it's just so funny because when you finally you spend more time with Taggart, you get to know Taggart, you spend more time with Rosewood. Yeah. And you get to that scene where they chill at Rosewood's apartment and it's all peaceful. He's got plants everywhere. He's playing classical music. He's all spiritual. And that was like one of the best scenes in the movie because while he's talking and doing all this, they're noticing like a whole rack of wall of firearms like in the back room. Like this huge wall of toys, and then there's like action movie posters there. Was Cobra there? It's been a while. I know Rambo. I think Rambo.
It probably was some kind of like Easter egg or something like that in there.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
But they bring back the same movie posters for the fourth movie when we revisit Rosewood's place.
House,
But yeah, it was just like slowly throughout the movie, they kept coming back like, Taggart kept saying, Billy, we got to talk. That became like a thing throughout the movie. Because, he's like, hey, I could break into this. And he's like, oh, give me a knife. And then Billy pulls out this big ass knife out of nowhere.
So it was like it was like a Bowie knife or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Taggart's like, what the hell are you doing with that? And he goes, protection. Billy, we got to talk. And he just became so unhinged, especially by the end. And I was like, oh my God. That's not my car. That's my wife's car. Everyone's having fun here.
With this movie, do you think that the action was like more over the top than the first one? You think it was more?
It's Tony Scott directing. Mm-hmm. So yes, I mean we get the first. I think this was the one that had the classic, the first garbage truck crashing chase sequence. I think this started it. But just especially the shootout too. There's especially with Billy like pulling out the rocket launcher, shooting like it. I enjoyed the action shootout. I actually enjoyed the action a lot better in this one than the second one. But yeah, they team up. We got to do our investigation.
Dude, why that guy so nonchalant, man? Like, let me finish my smoke.
But we got old Brigitte here. I like how he had to stand on his tippy toes to like when he went to greet.
Was he on his toes?
When she walked up to well, she's in high heels too. So when she walked up to him, he had to stand on his tippy toes to shake her hand.
She was great in that movie. That was a great villain.
Yeah. But yeah, the finale shootout was great. I mean, look at it.
Look out! Two guns. Yeah, right, dude.
And I wouldn't be surprised.
What is okay? Go ahead.
If this movie kind of homaged John Woo films at the time, because the Better Tomorrow movies, because Chow Yun-fat wore a long coat. And you got Rosewood here dual wielding. So I wouldn't be surprised if we
can we go back to that clip for a second? The thing is, I don't know what was up with Hollywood with those gun pictures, man. But holding two shotguns at long range, like it doesn't make any sense at all. Like shotguns are close range type weapons, man. That's the where you get that they're not. Oh my God, that scene just like cracks me up thinking about it now because it's like shotguns.
No, you nailed it. But I think it just fits Rosewood's character at this point.
It does. They should that should actually be on the back of the case of Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yes,
or something like that. Like definitely, like that's like alternate cover or something.
Yes, for sure. There you go. Yeah, so that was what I was thinking about was the Better Tomorrow movies. I think
I still have not seen those. I need to go watch them, man.
Yeah.
There's three of them, I believe.
Yeah, 3 is directed by I think Choi Hark, and it's like a prequel. But the first 2 are definitely worth it. Dude, the shootout at the end of the second one.
You tell me it's better than Hard Boiled or The Killer?
Well, they came out before. These are
okay.
These kind of started Gun Fu. But
Gun Fu. Okay.
Here we go. Tony Scott did use a Better Tomorrow footage in the True Romance. There you go.
True Romance. Wow. True Romance is insane.
Yeah, we got a little connection there. Yeah, I'm sure that was his homage. But yeah, definitely check out the first 2 Better Tomorrow movies. But the second one, the first movie is a better story, but the action, especially the end finale at the end of the second movie, is like God tier level carnage. Like it's insane. But yeah, really enjoyed Beverly Hills Cop 2 a lot. The score, I think, was fine, but besides. The score was well done, but besides the shakedown, breakdown, takedown song, I think the first movie had a lot more hits. I think the first movie's soundtrack was a little bit more memorable, but the action they turned it up to 11 in the second one. And now it is time, and I don't know how Reggie feels about this one. Hold on. Oh God! Now again, remember I have not watched these movies in years. So I had to revisit them. I remember not liking this one. And we're talking about Beverly Hills Cop 3. That's right. Came out in 1994. Here's the plot synopsis. Axel Foley, while investigating a car theft ring, comes across something much bigger than that. The same men who killed his boss are running a counterfeit money ring out of a theme park in Los Angeles, aka Universal Studios. Directed by John Landis, written by Steven D'Souza and many others. Yeah. So we're gonna get to it right now. Now, did you see this in theater when it came out?
I did. I forgot how old I was, but I remember me and my friends went to see it. And I just want to come back to something real fast. Remember how I talked about Ronnie Cox in part 2, how he was asked for a role in this movie?
Right.
He said
he saw the script and he changed his mind.
Exactly. He said I was going to be in a movie, but I read the script, and that was it. And that was it.
Wow, that was like a Hail Mary I threw right there. I didn't even think that was going to be the reason. Oh yeah. God. Oh God.
Yeah. So, the movie. Yeah. Go ahead.
Now here's the thing. I just recently discussed this movie with Master Chaos. Shout out to director Jose Prendez, and I just had a feeling, because sometimes Jose likes the odd movies, the ones that don't fit so well. Mm-hmm. So he really enjoyed it. He really liked it. There's believe it or not, I'm shocked, but there's actual fans for the film. Here's the thing, and that's great. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. But here's the thing. When John Landis saw the script, he knew the movie was doomed, but he kept his faith in Eddie Murphy. He was like, "Oh, it's okay. The script is shit, but I will trust in the Murphy of Eddie to carry the whole film." But unfortunately, Eddie Murphy around this time, this is all legit. Lady Fat Blood was so fascinated by how bad this movie was. Lady Fat Blood did some research, and what she found out was, unfortunately, Eddie Murphy around this time thought the Foley character was too immature. Mm-hmm. So he decided to play the character completely different. So there's times in the film where it doesn't even feel like a Beverly Hills Cop movie. The second thing is, it doesn't really feel like we're watching Foley at times. So unfortunately for Landis, he had a bad script he had to work with, and Eddie was trying something different, which unfortunately didn't work out here. There we go. Eddie was focusing on a more of a dramatic actor than being funny. But yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about it. So if you guys have never seen Beverly Hills Cop 3, all you need to watch is the first 10 minutes. And you'll get the excuse me, you'll get the tone right away of what kind of movie it is, because we're introduced to this garage, and you got mechanics in there working, and of course it becomes a sting. It's a big sting. Eddie Foley and his crew are creeping up to bust these guys, and they don't know the shit's about to hit the fan. So you have that going on, and right out of nowhere, the mechanics in there start dancing and singing, some kind of, not Temptations, but what's the word? What was the company back then that did a lot of the bands, produced a lot of it? Was Motown type of song, and they bust out and they start singing, and it becomes a number, and like a dance number. Now, I was just like, okay, what is happening right now? Al Leong was actually there. From, you guys know him from Die Hard, Big Trouble in Little China, stuff like that. Al Leong was one of the mechanics, and I was just like, well, why ain't he dancing? If you're gonna go bonkers, you might as well go all the way. I think that's what this movie's problem was it didn't know what it really wanted to be or what tone it wanted. Because let's be honest, this movie felt like a kid's film. This movie felt like, hey, let's make a Beverly Hills Cop movie for kids. And what's so bizarre about this movie is that it's still rated R. And the opening action sequence and shootout, people get fucked up. There's blood squibs, but then there's really no violence in the entire middle part of the film. There's really no violence until we get to the end. And then there's a few more people that get popped off with some blood squibs. And there's a few moments where the F-bomb is dropped. But if you took all that away, this was like a soft R. This was like a PG-13. It felt like a PG-13 movie.
For the most part, it was. Besides the intro, and the part at the end, there's a lot to talk about here with this movie, but I will say this. Eddie Murphy at that time, 90, he had just did Boomerang and a couple other movies where his character was kind of like different from what he usually plays.
He was kind of on the downslide around this time, wasn't he?
Well, he's on the downslide from comedy because you could tell he wasn't really into it because he went all out in the 80s. I mean, Eddie Murphy, Raw, Delirious, those Beverly Hills Cop movies. I mean, what else?
Coming to America.
Exactly.
There was so many hits, Trading Places, so many hits. In the 80s.
Like almost damn near nothing but hits. So, I understand him wanting to try something different, but I think at the same time, he probably wanted to try something different because he read the script. And he's like, okay, well, if we're going to do this script, I feel like I should act like this. They had a stronger script that pumped everybody up, man. I think he would have probably he would have probably tried something different, but it would have fit. I would have said, like, if he got the original cast back, like Taggart came back, Ronnie Cox, some of the people from the originals, you got to bring the originals back somewhat to make the sequels. If you take people out, people are missing, and it's not the same feeling. So I don't think he had the same feeling. And obviously during that time, he's transitioning to like changes his acting from like comedy to be more serious, which I get. Right. Even the jokes in Beverly Hills Cop 3 fell flat. I was like, man, this maybe worked in the 80s, but then for me too, Eddie Murphy's haircut at the time, which just the flat, just change because it was a lot of change because it was 7 years from the other one, So it's like, man, and that's not even his haircut he has on the cover of the movie. Like, let's come back to the cover of Beverly Hills Cop 3. He don't have that. It's like a flat top kind of if you look at it, So I don't know, man. It just
a little bit more hair. Yeah.
Maybe I'm not trying to drag on the film. I'm trying to like kind of understand it.
No, drag on it.
When you get to the third film,
you
got to do something over the top to outdo the other film. And I understand why they did that because then they took out his boss, whatever like that. That was a violent scene where his captain got taken out, and that was dramatic. And it was very sad actually because he was there with him when he died. And he's like, Axel, get that mother, and then whatever like that. Had the funeral. And that kind of set the tone for the movie. Was going to be a bit darker, but at the same time, Kid Parks and like
the tone. You see, like what are we doing?
Exactly.
Like,
so it's all over the place.
Right in the beginning, we have the dance montage, the Motown dance montage.
Yeah,
and then right after that, he gets killed.
Yeah,
and I was like I think when this happened, and I'm again because I haven't watched this in years, and we were rewatching it, and right when this happened, I was like, "Fuck you, movie!" Like I think that was my response. I was like, "Fuck you! You can't have Motown dance sequence, sister act style, and then you're gonna just kill him off like nothing." Like I was like, "Oh, we're in trouble." I was like, "We are in trouble while watching this. We're in trouble." Again, if you're going full Naked Gun. Because that's where this movie at times feels like a Naked Gun movie, an unfunny Naked Gun movie, right? In terms of type of comedy. Like you have that scene in the park where they have that toy train going around and you have the voice saying, keep all your hands and feet inside the vehicle or whatever. And you see Foley run by and he steps on the train and you hear the voice guy go, ah! That's like Naked Gun level, like Hot Shots Part 2 level of comedy, except not funny.
I've never been a fan of the Eddie Murphy laugh in the movies, but the laugh in the third movie when he did it at the drive-thru, I was like, oh man, it sounded so haggard to me. Like he was just done laughing that way.
Right. Yeah. It's like he changed the laugh. It was like weird.
Or he just changed. Or maybe I don't know. Yeah, it's something. It was just like, what the heck? But I did like certain scenes in the movie that I thought were pretty cool.
Some parts. We'll get to the stunt work. Some parts, very rare, I chuckled at something. But it was rare. I either chuckled at it because it was so bad that made me laugh, or something was actually legitimately funny, but it was really, really, really rare. Go ahead.
One part for me that was funny, and a lot of people probably didn't see it, was when you find the other villain of the film, which is John Sachs. And if you guys don't know him, he was the father.
Saxon. Yeah,
John Saxon. Sorry, he was the father of the girl in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right, Into the Dragon. Yeah,
Into the Dragon. Yeah. He was supposed to actually get killed in that movie, but they wouldn't accept it, so they made
Jim Kelly, the scapegoat.
Yeah, Jim Kelly was supposed to live in that, man. It's just,
I know,
that would have been better. But anyways, there was a part where Axel meets him, and I forgot what was said, but he made Axel, like Eddie Murphy's character, go get mad and go after him. And when the guys grabbed him before they pulled him up, getting the John Sack, Eddie Murphy kicked his leg up so high. It was hilarious, like a karate kick. It was so funny how it looked, because like it was the last effort to get to him because they were pulling him back, and he kicked his leg up. It looked like a karate kick. It's so funny. And that cracked me up as a kid. Like I was busting up laughing because it was so close to getting him, but
right.
That made me laugh.
Right, but that was funny. But the again, even the soundtrack was weak.
No, very weak. No effort.
You got Shakedown, Breakdown, Takedown, second movie. You got all the classic songs from the first movie, and this song. The only reason I remember this is because it's shite. Keep the peace. Keep the peace. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that song?
Oh, man.
Keep the peace. I said, I'm downloading it right now. I'm downloading Keep the fucking Peace.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Woo. Couldn't even give us a good soundtrack. And here's another odd, bizarre thing about this movie. All the cameos. What the hell was it with this movie?
Dude.
Out of all the sequels, there were so many cameos. John Singleton shows up as a fireman at the end of the movie. Joe Dante, the director of Gremlins, is in the movie. There's all these bizarre cameos. It was like, I think John Landis asked people for some favors because it was really didn't make any sense. It didn't even bring anything. It wasn't even funny.
He's trying to get people to see the movies. Oh, George Lucas in it. Wow. Like, some Star Wars fan would have saw it just for that. Who knows?
It was just bizarre.
It was definitely a bizarre. I'm happy they got what's his buddy's name again in the movie? That came back.
Oh, you're talking about? Oh, we'll get the Siege in the
shotgun brother. There we go.
Oh yeah, Rosewood, man. Yeah,
I'm glad he came back.
It was nice to see him. It was nice to see him, but and it was nice to see Siege, who's now in the gun business, dealing gun business, and we're gonna get to the Annihilator 2000 in a second here. I remember when the movie came out, buddies of mine saw the film and they told me, because I didn't see this in the theater, I saw this I think on TV growing up, but they were like, oh, that wasn't that good, man. Beverly Hills Cop 3 wasn't that good, but the Annihilator, it sounded like I almost went into Arnold Schwarzenegger mode there. The Annihilator. The Annihilator 2000. That was the coolest part of the movie, man. The Annihilator 2000 was the coolest part of the movie, man. And then I'm like, I always remembered that. So when I rewatched this film recently, when we got to the Annihilator 2000 scene, I was disappointed with that.
Eddie was too. Look at his face.
I was disappointed in this. I'm like, dude, by the way, that bench was bulletproof, I guess, because they shot the shit of that bench forever, and Eddie was fine. Foley was fine. And I was just like, okay, you have this big ass gun that could play music. The sky's the limit for a fun action sequence. You can have a certain song play while he's annihilating tons of bad guys. But no, I'm just going to keep hiding behind the bench, and then I'm going to play a goofy song, and then I'm going to shoot. Like, it took forever for him just to shoot two people. I'm like, oh my God. So even this fucking sucked. So fuck this shit. And I was just like, dude, you are failing. You are failing. And again, when you're not invested in a movie, and you don't care about the characters or what's happening or what's going on, you start to really notice stuff that shouldn't bother you, but it does. So when we get to the end finale action sequence, I guess, and all the bad guys are looking for him on the amusement park, he's shooting them, he's running away, he's trying to, he's using stealth tactics, and then you get to a scene, and we go back to this, by the way, like the whole Universal Studios advertisement, but it's called something else, obviously. This is Earthquake. They threw in everything, Battlestar Galactica guys. Like everything was in this for this movie. Oh, I love the overacting from everyone who's on the ride. Like they've seen the greatest thing. Now, when I went on Earthquake for the first time, this was me. So, like watching. I had a little bit of a smile. I was like, right? But everybody in this movie is like, when earthquake's going on, everybody in this movie's like
way over the top, man. That movie came out the same year. I'm thinking about too. Same year, something like Speed, which was like just all like cool action,
Oh,
so
Speed's a classic,
This movie came out that same year, man. It's like, damn, dude. Like,
god damn it. Yikes.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway. Like, man, thinking about it,
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, I mean, they were banking on Eddie Murphy's performance to really shine, to kind of save the film. But he was disappointed in the movie as well. But he said, let me just get paid real fast.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, he was paid while he's working on it.
Keep the peace. Sorry. I'm going to make sure it's stuck in your head.
No, you're not going to do that to me, man. I'm not getting scarred with that. No way.
So anyway, going back to like when you're not invested in a film, you start to notice things that shouldn't bother you.
Yeah.
So when you get to the action shootout or whatever you call it, the bad guys are looking for him. They're fighting down here where Earthquake is, right? But the ride isn't on. Well, Foley turns the ride on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, think about it. He shoots a guy. He uses his corpse. And he's like hiding behind him, and he's like, he went that away, right? Just bizarre comedy, right? That just didn't fit. And so the other two guys or three guys are like, oh, okay, and they run up the steps where the waterfall comes down.
Mm-hmm.
And of course they're like, oh, the water. And Lady Fatblood was like, you fucking work there. Shouldn't you know that this water comes down there? You're just gonna run up there?
Yeah,
we were just like shaking our heads. We're like, oh my god,
it's completely unnecessary. They just did it for like film effect or whatever like that. These clumsy goons or whatever like that. But we shouldn't be bothered by something that dumb. Let me tell you a scene that I actually like.
Not invested. It's like, oh, go ahead.
So the scene where he had to save the kids on top of the ride when he was hopping across those, I forgot what that ride was called. Yeah, I thought that was definitely a great stunt. I like that scene a lot, because I thought it showed a little humor too when the kid grabbed a hold of him too tight and was choking him a little bit.
Yeah. And
then the part where he just said, we got to get out of here. So he dropped down and he moved out real fast and that thing fell down and he just missed him. I thought that part of the movie was pretty good. Well done, because I was invested in that part. Like I said, I was going to save these kids. So that was one of the better parts of the movie.
Least, yeah.
Yeah, great stunt. So that was one of the great parts in that movie. Listen, we talked about this movie long enough. I feel like towards the end, you want
to keep the peace and move on. Is that what you're saying?
He got the bad guy, the one that got his commander.
Even that was lame.
It was
even
lame.
That wasn't satisfying. God,
it wasn't, man, because that guy was a pretty menacing villain. Like how cold-hearted he was when he shot whatever like that.
Yeah,
but at least he got the girl at the end. Looked like they were gonna have some kind of fling, and she looked good at the time. I remember her. She was in she was Martin Lawrence's wife in Bad Boys. And she was in a couple other earlier movies. She was in Sugar Hill as well. Some other movie where I thought she was pretty hot, So Eddie Murphy getting the girl at the end, that was the first one where he got the girl at the end. So
Reggie gives it a point for that. And
yeah, gives a point for that.
Wanda, wasn't she in Spawn? Wasn't she the wife?
Wanda, I didn't watch Spawn because I just didn't like how the HBO series is great, but the movie just couldn't really fulfill everything I wanted from Spawn.
I might be wrong, but I thought that was her then. But yeah, let's keep the peace and move on from this garbage. I'm sure I could rant on Beverly Hills Cop 3 the entire he ran up those things.
A couple of hours we could probably do on that one. Just
the whole movie, yeah. All right, now we are here, and thank God we have finally made it to Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley. Yes, we are finally here.
Also known as Beverly Hills Cop 4. Yeah, they tried to take that out of there, so I think it should have been called 4. It would have been fine, but they wanted again to give it a soft reboot with Axel Foley. Okay, fine.
Yes. We'll take it.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up IMDb here, and then we'll look at the photos while we talk about them.
Right. Of course. While you're doing that, just to let people know, there was a Beverly Hills Cop pilot that is about an hour long. You go watch it on YouTube. That's actually pretty good as well.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, let me go ahead and bring it up here, and then we can watch and look at the photos here. But first up, It's directed by Mark Malloy. I think this is his first big movie.
Right.
Here's the plot synopsis. Axel Foley returns to Beverly Hills after his daughter's life is threatened and works with his old pals, John Taggart, yes, and Billy Rosewood to uncover a conspiracy. Thank God. We have Joseph Gordon-Levitt showing up as Detective Bobby Abbott. Taylor Page plays Jane Saunders, the daughter of Foley. Right. We have Bronson Pincott returns as Serge, and Paul Reiser getting promoted, which was great. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Perfect. And Kevin Bacon always plays a great villain. But let me go ahead and bring up some photos here, and then we can chat.
And he plays a good anti-hero too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Good all around. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta love the bacon, the Baconator. All right, I'm gonna bring it up here so everybody watching can see what we're looking at here. There we go. Yeah. There he is.
He got that Charlie Murphy look on him right there.
He does, right? Oh my God. Oh yeah. Looking at this through IMDb, I apologize. We'll have to skip through a lot of ads, but at least we get to see the photos here. This scene right here, when he's in the precinct, and of course he gets arrested, and they bring him in there. But I love how he meets Joseph's character here, and of course he finds out that his character's been dating his daughter, and he's like, check this guy out. But it's funny, while he's going through his file, he actually takes a shot at the third movie. I don't know if you noticed that when he's going through all his cases, and then he goes, go ahead, say it.
I think he says something like 1994, or something like he said.
Yeah, he was like that was a bad one, or something like that. I was just like, okay, that's funny. But yeah, I enjoyed Joseph in the movie as well. But there he is, the Baconator. Yes. Who did you know he was the villain right away? Even though he's one of the good, he was supposed to be he's one of the officers.
Yeah, I knew right away.
You already knew.
It's what's weird is that he's kind of like a
Luis Guzman.
Luis Guzman, yep. Yeah, Guzman. That was a funny scene. Well, Luis Guzman was in the first movie.
That's right. Was he?
I think so. Let me make sure I'm wrong. I mean, I'm right about that. Excuse me. I might be wrong, but
that just reminded me of something. You just reminded me of something.
Okay.
I meant to talk about this. Luis Guzman was in another film with Eddie Murphy that we watched right after Beverly Hills Cop 3. And as much as I hate Beverly Hills Cop 3, Beverly Hills Cop 3 is a goddamn masterpiece compared to Pluto Nash.
Yeah, okay.
Is that what you're thinking about?
Yeah, Pluto Nash. Jeez.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop 3 is like a masterpiece compared to Pluto Nash.
Oh my God.
Might be a future video one day.
And Luis Guzman, he wasn't in the first one. I'm sorry, folks, but Pluto Nash, dude, like that I felt like at that time Eddie Murphy just trying to get a check, man. He's like, yeah, I'll take the script, whatever is a check or whatever like that. And kids movies bring a lot of money in, so
right.
That was a kids movie, wasn't it? Yeah.
Which one?
Pluto Nash was a kids movie, right? Like rated G.
Pluto Nash was a "What the fuck are we doing" movie. We don't know what we're doing. Speaking of tone, here we go. Axel F has a good balance of being serious and funny. Yes. Here we go. I'll tell you one thing. Beverly Hills Cop 4. Axel doesn't feel like Eddie doing a parody of Axel. Unlike Beverly Hills Cop 3, it feels like the character Axel except a few places. But yeah, overall, definitely a better performance with the character. Right. He does feel. Obviously he's acting like an older version of Axel, right. But he does still feel like the character, unlike at least more so than the 3.
This scene right here, man.
Dude,
yes, this made that movie.
Is this the best action scenes
under the bridge and everything, man?
Real stunts, real helicopter stunts. Like, I was really impressed. I think this movie might have the best action and stunts out of all the movies. It might. I think so. But there he is, old Paul. Got promoted now. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, all this stuff is making me kind of more mad at Beverly Hills Cop 3 for all the missed opportunities they could have had, because some of this script probably should have been into that movie as well. You know,
Yes.
like I felt when it comes to this movie, I love the Tagger's back, you know, everything like that. But at the same time, they could have probably introduced Eddie's daughter or something in that movie as young or whatever like that. Kind of introduce her like that, because coming back after like so many years, it's been 30 years. And it's just hard to say, oh, you have an older daughter that she hates you. We don't know why. And I think that kind of hurt the film to me, because she was mad at him the whole film and bringing up excuses and stuff like that. That was annoying me. And I was like, oh my God.
It was a little annoying.
It dragged on too much, man. It's like, come on. You know, the dude's trying to make up, and like, why are you being so hard-headed about it or whatever? Like, and she did it longer than expected. Like, I understand a certain period of the movie, but by a certain time, you got to get past that and move on to the plot, more of the plot. And that just annoyed me. So that kind of like dragged the movie for me. Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah,
but
for sure.
I'm kind of petty, man. Like, it started maybe a lot for me. I don't know. Maybe we'll see in the rankings in a minute. But
okay. Well, there he is. Taggart's back, and he got promoted in Beverly Hills. So
and the same character, which is great, man. Like, he's pissed off. His wife did this, you know, like that. This is hilarious, you know.
But yeah, great action. Very, very well done.
Yeah,
very well done. And there's his daughter right there. You know, it's funny, while we were watching the film, Lady Fat Blood was like, why didn't they just go with the TV show pilot type of plot?
Yeah.
Instead of going with, you know, with his son, instead of going with this. But, you know, it is what it is. But some parts of the film, Joseph's character was kind of the GOAT. Or not the GOAT. Yeah. He was kind of like the MVP.
Oh, 100%. He's definitely was a strong part of the movie. And I think if they do a part 5, he'll definitely be back in it. You know, definitely.
They're gonna make another one.
I'm pretty sure they'll do something. They might. I mean, they can't wait too long, because obviously Eddie is in his 60s. He ain't trying to do all that running around and stuff like that.
I think this is perfect. I don't think they need to make another one. I think this is
okay.
Right in.
Yeah,
but here we go.
Well, okay.
I mean, believe me, if it's guaranteed to be good, of course I'll watch. Of course I'll watch it.
I don't know. I just want more, man, because I feel like they owe us a lot for Beverly Hills Cop 3 still. Like, it's got to be played in a 2 movie. There was 2 movies.
I love how earlier Reggie's like, all right, can we stop talking about 3? Let's move on. And now it's creeping back in.
Yeah, like I feel like it's like a more of an apology. Like, hey, you know, like.
Yeah.
I get you.
But there's Riser. And there he is, Sedge. Yes,
that was cool.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's good to see him back a little bit. Oh yeah, that was my nitpick with. We're going back to 3 again. That was my nitpick with Surge in the 3rd film. It was great to see him, but again, like you were saying, how some of the comedy didn't land. There were a lot of jokes in that 3rd movie where you were like, okay, end, move on. Okay, here's the joke, and move on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some of the jokes, they just kept going. And I thought it was fun seeing him.
You're like, are you laughing yet? Are you laughing?
Yeah, exactly. It was fun seeing him in that movie, but his scene was like, that scene should have been 3 minutes or 2 minutes. This scene felt like 5-10 minutes. It was like, we're still here. We're still talking. Like, let's move on. But it was great seeing him in here. It's always fun seeing him. Just more Beverly Hills shenanigans. We got the confrontation right here.
That dude was funny right there. What am I supposed to do? Just give you the keys? What about my job? You know, what am I going to do after you run off? That was hilarious.
He's like, give me the keys. I'm a cop. We're on a chase. And he's like, nah, man. And then I love, like, when he left him there, he like turned British. Like, he's like, your vehicle is ready, madame. It was really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the daughter character, again, some great stunt work, some chases in here.
Yeah.
Very good stuff. But yeah, the daughter character was a little bit of a distraction. But I was
maybe even a drag in a way.
A little bit. But the thing is like, I enjoyed the character so much besides her. I was having fun. And we're going to talk about member berries in a second here. This picture reminded me of member berries. But yeah, go ahead.
I think I'm not trying to be controversial here or hurt anybody's feelings, but I think if they kind of like went with the some of the plot from the pilot, like if you had the son instead,
right?
I felt like it would have been better for me. I don't know. She was pretty good when she wasn't complaining, but then if he had a son in there, then I don't know if the other character, Joseph, what's his name, the actor that was on Get Praise to.
Let's just
I
keep
don't know.
him Joseph for now because I'm on
Joseph. Joseph. I don't know if his character would have shined as well with Eddie Murphy's son instead of the daughter. And that her being the girl gave them a connection, so maybe that works out. So yeah, never mind. I feel it's fine.
It balanced itself out just in time by the end. But yeah, it was a little slog with her.
As long as she doesn't start complaining again if they make a sequel. If she starts complaining about him, like
that's it, turning it off.
Done. Stop.
But yeah, here we got the garbage truck chase sequence here, in a way. But yeah, the pretty fun action opening sequence we had for the film. But this movie, people were scared of member berries overload. And I think this movie, and even I was concerned at some point because there's so many member berries, but you notice in the beginning, and I was a little concerned, but it kind of stopped doing that through the rest of the film. The movie kind of became its own thing. But it was kind of like in the beginning, they played like, I think the 3 most popular songs, they played them in the beginning, right? And it was like, The Heat Is On, Shakedown, Breakdown, and then he's in the garbage truck again. So I was kind of like, I hope the whole movie isn't this. And thankfully, this movie balances the member berries in a right way, to where it didn't feel like a member berries movie. And there's other films out there that do the member berries, but if you're not invested with the story, if you don't really care about the characters you're watching, then that becomes more of an annoyance. But luckily, we love Taggart, we love Rosewood, we love Foley. So I was still smiling watching this movie throughout. But yeah, it definitely balanced the member berries, I think, in a good way. It wasn't an overload. Excuse me. It wasn't an overload like Ghostbusters Afterlife with the fucking Twinkie popping out of the glove compartment in the car. Sorry, Ghostbusters Afterlife fans.
I got some bad news for you.
You love that movie?
No, it has to do with Beverly Hills Cop. Are you ready for it?
Oh, we're getting exclusive right now. What do we got?
It looks like they're working on Beverly Hills Cop 5. It's in development.
Well,
they're already developing.
That means this did well. Views. They're doing 5. Oh boy.
Well, we knew we were going to do. That's why I said we need one more, man. Because part 3. I hate to go back to, but they owe us 2 movies for that one, man. And 30 years later, we definitely need 2 movies, and now's the time to work on them because Eddie is back, and or whatever. Yeah. So okay. Hopefully, you guys in the comments, hopefully you guys agree with me. I mean, 4 can end the series because they're all chilling, they're about to go get a steak or whatever, to end like that. Yeah, I think we need one more, and Ronnie Cox needs to come back because this time, if he reads the script, I think he'll come back.
That would be dope. But chat, let us know right now. Are you down for Beverly Hills Cop 5? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Let us know. But yeah, back to the movie here. But yeah, there's some. But here's great helicopter stunts, like good. Kevin Bacon, great villain, and another great solid shootout at the end. Man, really good with the action. Yeah. But our boy here, it's almost like they forgot the third film. And again, I don't want to reference the third movie at all. But he at least kind of had his own like status. He was like kind of like promoted to his own. He had his own like office in the third film I'm talking about now. Like he was part of his own, like he was like a consultant. He was there to bring in the team if needed. Like he had some status, but this movie's kind of like, no, he just left. He figured out a story, and when Rosewood gets obsessed, he's obsessed. Nothing could change his mind. And he figured out a case, and he's trying to pursue the case. They didn't want to pursue it, so he's like, "Fuck it, I'm quitting. I'm going to become a personal investigator." So it's funny because if you think about it, Reggie, without the '90s joke of them basically making fun of the third movie, were there any other references to 3? Because if that joke didn't exist, I think you could go from 1 to 2 straight to 4. You could just say
you can skip 3.
Yeah, I mean, like, right? I mean, like, his commander died in the third film, but you could just say it's how many years later?
Years later, of course,
away. Yeah. He passed. You could just say he passed away. We miss him. Like you technically could just skip from 2, go straight to 4.
Well, maybe that's what we should tell people to do. Like, matter of fact, this Beverly Hills Cop as of right now is a trilogy, but there's no but there's no 3 in that trilogy. There's only Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and Axel Foley. Matter of fact, they come out with a Blu-ray set or HD Blu-ray set. Only those 3 movies. Beverly Hills Cop 3. What are you talking about? There's only Axel Foley. I think that's a good idea.
Right. Fuck it. Let's do it. He says Taggart saying he came back to working after retiring was a reference. Yeah. Like I said, if you could take out a couple of the references, the 3, you could you could just skip straight to 4. But anyway, he gets kidnapped. He's working with Axel Foley's daughter, Rosewood was, and then he gets kidnapped and she gets threatened, and that's what makes Foley come to Beverly Hills. He's like, all right, you're gonna mess with my daughter, mess with my buddy Rosewood, I'm coming. But yeah, very, very entertaining, very solid. I'm trying to skip quickly through all these because there's so many images here. But yeah, stunt work is legit. Great to see Taggart. Despite the daughter, was there any other nitpicks you had with the film?
I kind of liked Kevin Bacon's villain. I kind of sympathize with him a little bit, but at the same time, they become over the top, and it's like, you gotta go, man. You gotta go.
This shootout right here, this ambush, this was pretty intense, bro.
Yeah, because it was a serious scene. Like his daughter was with him, and he got lucky.
Yeah, this was pretty intense. That's what I'm saying. I think this might win in terms of action, having the best action out of all the movies.
Winning.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great to see Taggart and Rosewood show up at the end with the end finale shootout. And of course, Rosewood's got to do his similar, put down your guns, you're under arrest. He's got to do that again just for fun. But like I said, it started off member berries hard, but then it really balanced itself out, and it became its own story with some hilarious moments and some serious moments. Yeah. But yeah, some parts of the daughter did drag it. But dude, again, going back to the helicopter stunt chase, it's so nice to see real stunts and not horrible, obvious CGI, which kind of takes you out of the movie sometimes, and it's just nice to see the real stuntmen do their thing. It's very, very well done. Very well done. And I think that might be all of the images here. I don't think we're missing anything else. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. Me and Lady Fat, there's some shots of the helicopter chase there. Me and Lady Fat Blood really enjoyed it. And we like, after watching Axel F, we were kind of like, we felt at ease. We were like, we had to take a breath. We were like, that was nice. That was nice. Like, yay. Night One here is down for another. He's down for another one. Let's see. What else we got here? Hold on. I'd like more time with the daughter. All right. We have a fan here of the character. Who else we got here? I don't want the daughter if there's a 5. Well, unfortunately, I'm sure she'll probably be there because.
Well, it's a cameo, maybe. She don't need to be in the whole movie. Yeah.
Hopefully. So. Brian G, you'll be fine except for he's responding to Brian's. Brian's scared to watch it. Brian G, you'll be fine except for the daughter complaining and clashing against him. But yeah, other than that, very well done. Great action, great stunts, good comedy. Great to see the old crusty veterans back. And it felt, and especially if you compare it to Beverly Hills 3, Reggie's favorite, if you compare it to that one, it felt a lot more like a Beverly Hills Cop movie. All right. Yeah. So we highly recommend you guys check out Axel F right now. All right. We've gone through all 4 films. It is time to rank it. So remember, as soon as I click on the ranking video, everybody watching right now, I want you guys to put your own rankings in the chat comments, and I will put them on screens. Here we go. Let me go ahead and get to that, and then we're going to get it started. All right, we're gonna start with Reggie first. Reggie, what is your number 4? I wonder which one it is. What is your number 4 ranking? Number 4 on the bottom, not the number 1, not the best.
So it was originally going to be Axel Foley.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's don't get me wrong, it's a good movie. But with Beverly Hills Cop 3, of course, man, there was too much stuff that just didn't make it a Beverly Hills Cop movie. So I got to switch it back. I got to switch it to number 4.
There you go. So Beverly Hills Cop 3 is the bottom of the barrel. Number 4 ranked for Reggie. What's going to be mine? Am I going to keep the peace? Fuck this movie. It stays on the bottom. Again, not as bad as Pluto Nash. There is some, it does have its moments, but it's just like, whoa, what in the fuck are we doing? All right. Number 3 on Reggie's ranking. What do you got?
So this is a tough one. I mean, I feel like
interesting.
Oh man. I was gonna put part 2 here.
Okay.
But the chemistry in part 2 was too well done. And I love Richard Nielsen's her villain in that one. And just certain scenes in that movie just stick with me. So I was gonna put it as number 3. But I'm going to go with just Axel Foley at number 3.
Okay. Yeah. Axel Foley, number 3 for Reggie. Number 3 for Samurai Guy. It's Axel Foley. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. It was not. It was like a nice, warm, big hug for the fans. Mm-hmm. It was like comfort food. It was like, it's going to be okay. I'm going to give you a hug. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. You know, we were traumatized at the last one. It's going to be all right. But yeah, that's my number 3. What is number 2? I think I know what it is. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is going to be Beverly Hills Cop 1.
Whoa! Yeah. Holy shit! Wow!
I got to put it at number 2, man. So, yeah, I love the movie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a great movie, but part 2 just kind of like, it was just more my style. The jokes and stuff in that movie were hilarious. The over the top, the introduction to suck you in that movie. What happened to the Ronnie Cox character?
Yeah,
I was just like, dude, like what the heck? And just the whole jewelry scene, like, damn, all these gun shooting. Your favorite scene, dude with 2 shotguns.
Wow.
Well, that wasn't in that movie, so that's in the second movie. But
yeah, we were just talking about it.
But Beverly Hills Cop 1. It's more of an introduction though, so you're still getting used to everybody. You know, part 2 I feel is more established. So
right.
Part 1, this is where part 1 goes.
Right. Look at that. Now I thought I was going to be the only one there. So number 2 in the ranking is the original, and of course number 1. We're going to get to that in a second. But yeah, we might as well just do it both here right now. I thought I was going to be the only one to pick number 2 as my number 1. Yeah, number 2 is my favorite. In the series, of course, the first film goes to the number 2 ranking spot. But Beverly Hills Cop 2, I'm stunned. I'm actually kind of happy. Me and Reggie, powers combined, activate, had the same ranking. But yeah, 2, it was just the pacing was better in 2 also.
Yeah, it was.
The pacing
it kept you hooked.
Yes,
there was times I kind of looked away from at part 1, you know, like because it was kind of dragging, not much at all, but you know, just this part 2 just really felt like it was just like glued you to the screen.
Yeah, copy that. All right, let's go to chat right here. Ranking 1, 2, 4, and 3 is the bottom for Will. There we go. All right, we got 2, 1, 4, and 3. 3 is the bottom for Bob.
There we go. Bob is on.
Wow, wait, I'm going to top. 3, 1, 2, 4. Is he saying 3's his favorite? Is that what he's saying?
That's what he's saying.
All right, okay.
It might be part 3 might be some people's favorites. I mean,
there's people out there that enjoy the film. NSG, there we go. Part 3 is his bottom. There we go. All right, and 2 and 1. Okay, all right. Nice. Yeah, we almost came together for that's a form one super robot. And just for fun, this isn't a ranking poll results, but this is just people voted for their personal favorite on the YouTube community page for That Fat Samurai Guy. And of course, I'm not surprised by this, but they chose the first film as their favorite in the franchise. I'm not surprised. But yeah, that's about right. Look at that. I mean, like somebody picked 3 as their favorite in the franchise. Look at that.
It was probably the first one they saw. I feel like if you pick part 3 as your favorite, you have to seen that one first out of all of them.
You're young, you know, and you have like fond, nostalgic memories of it. But yeah, I forgot to talk about how bad. I mentioned "Keep the Peace" song, but I forgot the actual score wasn't good either. 3 when they had the orchestrated version of the Beverly Hills Cop theme song. It was just like, oh, this is cringe, man.
Yeah,
this was really bad. But yeah, great ranking. Everybody watching right now, great ranking, great order. And if you love Beverly Hills Cop 3, awesome. I think I saw, hold on, before we ended, I think I saw somebody say something about Pluto Nash. Let me go. Did that person actually love Pluto Nash? Oh, here we go. Do not mention that movie, please. Pluto Nash, the lowest of low bars.
Yeah, Eddie was just trying to get a check, man. He's like, man, I'll do this movie as long as you guys are paying.
Yes, yeah.
That movie kind of hurt his career a lot, actually.
Yeah. You know what's insane about Pluto Nash is that movie used to be longer. They used to be like ridiculously long, and they hired an editor to edit it, and the editor was like, "I have no idea what to do with this. This is a tragedy."
Yeah.
So guess what they did? They ended up reshooting scenes. That's how worse Pluto Nash was. They ended up reshooting scenes, which blew up the budget even more. And the theatrical version is what you see. So the theatrical version is reshoots. Hey, there she is, Omniblast. What's going on? We're getting ready to end it, but it's so good to see you. Yeah,
that movie came out in 2002, and it had a budget of $100 million, and the box office
that's a lot.
It made $7.1 million back in sales.
Yikes! And I think that's worldwide. Is that worldwide?
Yeah.
Yikes! Well, it was nice to see Rosario Dawson. Was nice to see her. You know, she's always awesome to look at, but. Other than that, and what you call was trying Randy Quaid. Is it Randy Quaid?
Yep, he's in it. Randy Quaid. He's like always. He's like his character when he plays a character. It's like that's how he is in real life, man. Like you gotta tell, he's not acting at all.
Yeah, he tried, but yeah, Pluto Nash might be a discussion for another video with me and Lady Fat Blood. We got some stuff planned in the future coming up. All right, guys. Well, this was an awesome podcast episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And hey, all of you guys that watched this after it's live, let us know in the comments your ranking of all 4 films, or just go, just talk about the first 3, 1, 2, and 4. You can do that if you want.
Yeah.
You can
or you can even watch the pilot. Matter of fact, this is what you do. You instead of watching part 3, you watch the pilot. The pilot will replace part 3. Then you go to part 4 and say, "Hey,
there you go."
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Oh, 3. Keep the peace. Keep the peace. That's my new ringtone now. That's my new ringtone. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Old Samurai Guy. Subscribe to this gent, this awesome gent over here if you're a big, huge fan of video games. And also, don't forget, everything's going to be linked in the description below, so you can subscribe to Reggie. But don't forget to watch our When Action Movies Became Video Games is an epic video. I spent a lot of hours editing that shit. So fucking watch it, God damn it. No, I'm just kidding. What do you think I'm on? You think I'm working for free around here? No, I'm just kidding. I am working for free anyway. All right, guys. Love you. Keep watching those action comedies. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone.